Salutations, class, and welcome back. A pleasant Tuesday evening, and we will be returning to Dead Cells, which I hope you've been excited for as I've been, as we just got ourselves to 5 BC and the hardest difficulty. Now, from here, we're welcome to spread out our builds and do whatever the heck we want, as it's probable we will end up spending a lot of time at this difficulty, as we still have plenty more for us to be unlocking. Now, join me and we shall begin. A formal hello and good evening to you, Siphon. Welcome. Let's get ourselves up to 5 BC. I don't know why we were on 3 before. What was going on there? Right, the, dark trackers. Let's actually route to where they are found. I'm not going to dial back the difficulty, but I will see Dead Cells Wiki. I believe we were getting the repeater crossbow, which should be found on the Dark Tracker. Welcome, Sheikah. Good evening to, or good morning to you. Just where do we find Dark Trackers anyway? They can be found in the ossuary at 3 or more, which I do believe we can route there through prison depths, correct? Let's see here. Prison depths. Okay, I know exactly what route we can take. Still stuck on 3 BC, but you also haven't played in a while. That's probably how things usually happen. I myself, as you might have seen from our prior streams, I ended up getting stuck on 3 BC more than anything else so far. Right here looks like a lovely selection of weapons. We'll go ahead and pick this up even if we're not using it. Let's see. Seems like a decent start. We don't usually do brutality builds as much, so why don't we do that this time? Poisons enemies, block with a parry. I'm going to take this just for the bonus damage after the parry. As that one, even despite the fact that this is only a survival skill and shield, it will buff up the damage of our frying pan, which deals critical hits towards any enemies facing us. Yeah, 3BC is probably the biggest difficulty spike, so the fact that you're having trouble with it is pretty normal. Par for the course. Even I, with my prior experience being 5BC, still have trouble with it. In fact, we spent more time there than we did on 4BC. We beat 4BC pretty quickly. It was just 3 runs or so, wasn't it? Grenade, and continue. I should definitely do a lot more poisons enemies that wound you versus emits a toxic cloud. I think that one's actually a slightly better effect, as that will hit multiple enemies after I take damage. Which I'm going to avoid, of course. Doing wonderful damage so far. I think this is a build we can make do with. Last attack throws the target behind you, bumping other enemies it hits. Critical damage to enemies thrown on walls. You know, I still want to make a good build that involves the light sword. But we might be a while away from that. I'm not sure if there's anything else we need as an upgrade for it. Probably 2 good defensive skills. So it might end up having to be a tactics build, as we could use Cocoon and possibly wave of denial on top there. Alright, that's taken care of. We have 2 red scroll points. I don't think there's anything else we need to be doing immediately, but I will comb the entire level. Right, we're going to want the Hunter's Grenade. After all, we are looking for results with that. Repeater crossbow build. Yep, we are in trouble. And not anymore. Okay. Take the bonus damage from there. Welcome, James. Good evening to you. We are now here on the hardest difficulty. Parry. I wonder if we could actually get some toxic synergy. That would definitely make it a lot easier to get some extra damage off this frying pan. Right now we are a little bit behind. We should be doing way more damage to all of these guys. It's a very good thing we saved the kebab up here. Is that a half? No, that's only 15%. Nah, we'll pay for the grenade, but we will try to see if we can open up another door and then get the alienation buff really soon. Let's see. I think the powerful grenade might be a bit of a better option here. Also, there's allegedly some way for us to get 10,000 gold there at the start. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I guess we might have to complete a run first. Then we'll actually carry over all the gold from our previous victory. Don't need that, sell that, and let's go over here, actually. Instead of using the powerful grenade... Wait. I was supposed to swap that out, not sell it. Where does our build run work best? Let's actually head to the promenade here. Either the promenade or the dilapidated arboretum can both take us to where we're wanting to go. Our goal here is the ossuary so that we can get the repeater crossbow, and eventually test out that build. I believe it was Decursion's idea, correct? Now there's an idea. Double damage to a target covered in burning oil, so obviously we need to get fire damage, some sort of source for it. Huh, a torch actually wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm thinking. We should be focusing on unlocking new items. Let's go ahead and take this. Put that on the side here and actually put the punishment in the backpack, since we might end up using it soon. What else could be used for skills? We can pick anything for now, so let's actually go with Lacerating Aura. Go ahead and grab that, get rid of the grenade, and continue. That'll do for there. And now let's go ahead and get the Alienation, which will allow us to restore our health, and we generally want to save our flask charges for when we get towards the final boss. We want to use as few of them up front as possible. Hold on. T. Ugh. Sinuses are definitely getting to me today. Aha, we'll have to be careful, have to be safe. There we go, and just 2 more kills should be easy. Of course, maybe not if they're surrounded by a force field. There we go. And we're almost back to full HP. Wait for that to dissipate. Have a nice death. Hold on, let me look that one up. If it gives a very good first impression, I will put it on my wish list. Have a nice death. It sounds familiar. No, I haven't seen this. I might have heard the name. I don't think I've played it yet. And it released just today. So... Huh. Why don't we actually put that on our selection for next week? Give it a look. In fact, if I actually knew about it earlier, I might have even done that instead of Dead Cells for tonight. We don't necessarily have to stick with Oblivion for tomorrow. Given that this is a new game coming out in a genre I'd like, I need to gauge if it is something I should play and try to see if I can get on the hype train for. You know me. I'd like to try to play games on the release day or soon around that, just as some other auxiliary method to collect some clout when possible. Get away from there, and... right, we have to deal with the force field. We are currently focusing on trying to get our hands on the repeater crossbow, which we still didn't manage to get last time. So, we are currently routing our way into the ossuary. You'll see I have the hunter's grenade with me, and we'll use that once we get to the dark trackers in that biome. Wave of Denial is a very good idea, but no. Actually, that might have been a better idea. Drat. Get up here, get some fire damage off. There, that should be good. I haven't. Not for Dead Cells. After all, why would I change something that's already perfect? Ooh. Now there's a nice little source of extra health. Go ahead and trade that out for the punishment. Pick those up. And of course we're going to need more brutality damage. Pick up the extra damage from there, get the crits. Now, one of the biggest differences on the harder difficulties is that enemies will now teleport to you. Ah, no, I haven't ever thought to change the music either. The soundtrack is wonderful. Huh. There's no blueprint icon over him, so... would that imply that we already unlocked it, or is there something else at work here? Good morning, heroes, and welcome. Trying to dispel a curse right now, and I thought that enemy would follow us, but doesn't seem like that's happening. Alright, just one more KO, and we're good. And missed our dodge. Just in time too, since we did just dispel the curse. Get some fire damage over there, and this build seems to be turning out quite nicely so far. Now if we could get some bonus damage on the fire blast towards burning oil, then I think we're set, even to the end of the game. Ah, there you are. Even without the damage bonus, we're... heck... almost one-hit killing any of these enemies. Burn you, slam down here. We have to be very careful since we're not using a shield this time. But I think if we play to the range that we have with the Fire Blast here, we should be able to rack up a little bit of damage on enemies at a distance, and then focus on more damage when they get close. After all, we have all the bonus damage from the Burning Oil Sword, survival for a little bit of HP, doesn't look like there's anyone left up there, so head over here. That's another one of the features, and that is, as that little orange bar at the bottom of our screen builds up, we'll actually have a harder difficulty, essentially. Basically, 5 BC is 4 BC, but you have to be fast and efficient. Grappling hook isn't a bad idea. That would also be a good source of damage. Let's actually try for the grappling hook here, as it might give us a bit of a way to reposition our enemies, and we'll end up having to not really deal with some of the weird positioning we'll find a lot of them in. Such as earlier when we had those two oven knights. They were attacking out of sync with each other, and it was very, very hard to deal with them. We can also draw those dummies away from their allies. Careful. BC stands for boss cell. Careful, careful. Yeah, I think the grappling hook's actually a great idea. It means for common era. Decent enough joke. Would be kind of interesting if this game did take place sometime in the distant past, but it's also a complete fantasy world, so I guess time's irrelevant. There's even the jokes about the clock tower being used to manipulate time. We don't need that, so sell it. We'll come back for that big old radish here in a moment. We'll need to make sure that we clear out the rest of the level first. And tactics. Just in time. Get over here, and 60 kills. We did manage it before the level was done with. Now we'll need to get into the prison depths, and from there we can get into the ossuary and see if we get those blueprints from the dark trackers. The grappling hook here can also be used as an interrupt, which is especially important when we don't have a shield to block multiple enemies at the same time. No, because we already have a better weapon, basically serving the same purpose. Interesting situation. That would have been 6 months ago, wouldn't it? Sinew Slicer, let's say no. And as always, we have to clear out the entirety of the level, so let's get to the end. For today, I'm certain there's probably a different reason he could have used them. Not that I disapprove, but it sounds a little arbitrary in that case. Actually, it sounds very arbitrary. And done. Alright. I suppose the originals did come out around that time. Is there a secret up there? No, there is not. So instead, we will go through here, as we are going through the prison depths. I think that's the entire biome cleared out, but we'll take this radish. The only reason he said why. Well, good enough for me. I'd question it, but I'd still be very willing to accept it. Now, let's see what's behind door number 2. Really? Level 9 items back here. In this case, we'll actually take the lower damage overall, just for the higher total stat boosts. We want to have a little bit of extra survivability. We don't really need anything from there, so let's go ahead and save that up. Decent enough. It didn't really re-roll different effects for us, did it? I'm not really sure there's a useful effect here. Maybe adrenaline helps us have a little bit more survivability. And we will be taking damage given that we have not a shield, but our dodges instead. Hey, gorgeous. Ooh. Hold on there. We'll put that in the backpack and probably actually find a reason to use it. We might re-roll it to try to see if we could get fire damage on it. Or maybe just an acrobatic pack. Or armadillo pack, that's what I'm looking for. Good for us. And it's gonna keep rolling that in. Okay, I guess we just have to deal with that being on our screen now. Five more kills. Ah, up here. Okay. And stay away from the rat. Stay very far away from the rat. Okay, there's one more guy up here. Seems weird doing wonderful damage. Grab you, and that actually prevents him from attacking us since we give him the stun from the grappling hook right there. What do you think is the best mutation for Ranger in general? In general, I think it might be, oh, what is it? I seldomly actually play the, tactics build, so I'm gonna need a second to remember. I think the one where you inflict extra damage per arrow stuck in enemies just works on so many weapons that it's hard to ignore. That's just a powerful thing for any bow. Now it's not the best option for all tactics builds, but I think it does well enough on most of them. Yeah, Ripper. I mean, Barbed Tips. I actually never use Ripper myself, since I'm usually trying to play a shield build. I wonder how we can get a good dodge on those guys. A legendary Spartan sandal, maybe not the best. Yeah, this doesn't have any unique effects with it. Okay, never mind those guys. Come on, I saw you. I know you're down here somewhere. Wonder where you went. Pick up that key. I don't really use networking, so might be worth a try. I usually try to KO my enemies one at a time. There, now while we have the lifesteal, we make use of it. Dude, that drop stuff looks like he's from the Phantom Menace. With the, gas mask and all that. Or are you talking about the, spider-looking fellows? Yeah, we only really need one basic source of fire damage, and from there we can get all the extra damage we need out of the oil sword. So, we can actually swap out and... We can swap out and put away the fire blast once we get an alternate way to inflict fire damage differently. This is why I don't play without shields. Why can't I run up that slope? Thank you. A little late, thank you. Now I'll have to work all that back up. Get that lifesteal. And it's a little bit at a time. Really, at this point, we just can't afford to take damage whatsoever. so we will have to play a lot more slowly now. Luckily, we can build up lifesteal off of the right dodges since we have the mutation that allows us to do that. Jump out of there before we explode. Never thought of networking since you kill one enemy at a time. Same here. That's usually what I focus on. Get over here, and let me do a little bit of extra damage. We are in trouble. There, got rid of the elite enemy. Now I just need to worry about the little guys, and okay. Come on, I saw you. I know you're invisible, but I saw you. Dodge those. Yeah, I think we can afford a little bit of extra melees because we need that health. Through the power of gaming, he prevails. Indeed, we are certainly gaming. And bring you over here. Check this, and no, we don't have a use for that. Okay, got rid of him, jump over here, and so long as we don't have to deal with that and the knife throwers at the same time, we should be okay. It's malaise. Malice. It's spelled with an AI. Let me actually double check this. You know what? I do always have a need to verify my information, just in case. Dictionary for... Dictionary lists it as either malaise or malaise. So, again, we actually had a similar interaction like this with a different stream. So, dictionary.com actually says both are valid, of course. I mean, after all languages made up. Ooh, now that is some spicy damage. And will be much better at crowd control than using a grappling hook. Also, where he should be over here, and let us proceed. You speak French. Interesting. I only had about a week of that in high school, before I ended up changing to Spanish. Being someone who lives in Texas, I thought it would be a lot more relevant. Although I still haven't had a need to speak Spanish since high school. We don't need to upgrade that. We can make use of the extra damage to burning targets much easier. Let's see, what would be best for us? Let's actually reforge our shield until we get fire. There we go. Put that in the backpack. And now, I'm not sure what else we need. Maybe Instinct of the Master of the Arms? I think No Mercy might actually be better since we're coming up to our first boss soon. And bosses usually get harder as they get lower in health. If we can skip that last 15%, then we have to deal with the hardest phase for a lot less. You probably like 5% French, but the reason why you speak French is because your dad's country, Senegal, is French-speaking. Unfortunately, I come from just a family of English speakers, so no interesting language backstories for me. Okay, yeah, there it is. The dark trackers here actually have an icon saying that we can get something from them. Oh dear. Of course. And there we go. Repeater crossbow. Now we just need to not die. Parry and attack. And yeah, we have to deal with a lot of enemies now, but to make sure we get out of here, let's go ahead and pop a flask. After all, I do believe we have a shop in here. Get the critical hit damage. Over here. Right, 7%. Keep the flag flying intensifies. We are in a pretty tense situation. Welcome, Zero. How you doing? Parry that, and we'll still keep the other amulet just for the extra health it provides. Overall, more total stats. Learning some Kai jank. So that would be basically any Kai. Anything about Kai. Overall, I think he's just a very janky character. The whole shock state thing in Strive. Wait, we already had an open slot for another skill. We could have picked that up regardless. Get a banana slammer in there. Parry, and continue. He's learning Exol and his double quarter circle back super combos into itself in the corner. I actually don't really know anything about the EX characters, so other than the gimmick of EXL basically being Kai, I'm not sure what little gimmicks he has. So what's the deal with that super? I'll take a bit of extra health, please. And no, we don't need the face flask. Banana, slammer. Very clutch. Okay. come over here. Alright, we'll need to get rid of the bombardiers first, basically. And thank goodness we survived that one. Get the extra damage there. Parry this. Parry that. And avoid the elite slasher for now. Actually, given that we no, we'll want to avoid all the other ones showing up. He gut punches you, then he just eats you. Tyrant Rave animation without fire and a touch-up. Have the screen go red and then black for strong hits? Yeah. Helps sell the impact. What do you want, you little skrunka? Ah, hold on. My door's shut and the little skrunka wants to go outside, so let me do that for him. Yeah, let's get you. Observe as Professor dramatically increases and decreases in size, just from getting up off of it away from his desk. And just one last guy. Oh, never mind. We are in mild amounts of trouble. There. Done with minimal interaction on their part. There, okay. We're in the clear, and more importantly, we're back on full health. So, what is that special or super supposed to represent? Or is it just a special? Oh, super combo. Yeah, it's a super. Is Professor a Digimon going from a small creature to an eldritch horror? Not a bad idea, but more of I just decide not to obey the laws of physics if it inconveniences me. Though you will find that most of the time the laws of physics will convenience me, so I will obey them. But the constraints of space and time, well, sometimes I decide they don't apply to me. Now, I always play fair, so I don't use it to an unfair advantage. We're going to want to see if we can score another 7,000 gold before we get out of here. After all, I want that extra flask charge. Although we might not have that opportunity anymore. And we don't get any rewards from those guys, so we'll just have to make do with all the enemies still left running around, which we might not get. Yeah, doesn't look very promising at this point. Probably not gonna land our way into another 7,000 gold. Are they, mixing in quotes from his intros in some cases? Yeah. I like how Soul's whole personality is just, I'm gonna punch it really hard. Until it breaks. Get the oil out there, continue our smackdown, and we're gonna need to try to get some source of fire out here. Oh, I didn't see the slime behind us. Luckily, we didn't lose very much health there. Yeah, that is definitely Soul Bad Guy. What's in here? A shield which we will not take use of. We're still increasing melees, but we're almost at the end. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have cleared out most biomes up, or most of the rooms up to here. Luckily, our telluric shock will actually help us in a crowd control situations, as it does start a fire if it KOs an enemy. From there, we just keep swinging. This is a Metroidvania. It's a roguelike Metroidvania. Hi, Era, how you doing? I do hope you've seen the schedule in Discord. As per your suggestion, we do have Franbo scheduled for Thursday this week. Same time as always. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we can do this. Cocoon. Excellent. And brutality. Looks like your mom without makeup. I'm not sure that I have a witty response to that one. That's a little concerning. Funny enough, we don't actually need the croissant at this point. Yeah, come on down here. If we have the cocoon, do we need the rampart? We don't necessarily need it, but we can make good use of it. And sadly, all those individual guys don't count towards reducing our curse. At least his mom loves him. Yeah, I think that's the best take we can have out of this situation. The Grenadier there is not going to follow us. Let's go ahead and get one more. And now we look over here. MC just said, I have the power of Grayskull, He-Man! Unless this actually has nothing to do with Skeletor. Well, that problem just sorted itself out. No, it is not a comedy game. I already know it's ahead of us. Oh. Oh, wait, it was the I have the power of Grayskull, He-Man. I never actually watched He-Man, so I'm a little out of the loop there. I was thinking it would have been some sort of Skeletor joke, which those I've heard plenty of, at least. Yeesh. How do I warn my viewers? I know it's going to be a psychological horror game. I never trusted you. Well, the thing is, I did trust you at first because Franbo sounds like a relatively benign name for a game. I only stopped trusting you after I actually went to the Steam store page and read up on what it was all about. And yes, the tag said psychological horror. Only Skeletor jokes you know are dirty or weird, like disturb. That one's actually one of my favorites. The whole Skeletor telling you something you don't want to know, and then turning around and running. That one always makes me laugh. All of these options are survival scaling and useless. And with all of our excess cells, let's go ahead and unlock that repeater crossbow. Though we will not be using it, as our build just doesn't really have any interaction. What do you want? What? What? You little scrunko? When you were a kid. When did that game come out? 2015. Wow. It has been a while. Ooh, but it's a point and click, which I am very happy about. So what are you specifically referencing, Decursion? I'm gonna go ahead and leave the streamer pet here in my lap and hope he does not get himself into some ruckus. 2015, wow. To think that was so long ago. No, cut it out. Cut it out. If you're not going to behave, you can leave. No. No, okay? Get out of here. It's funny, every time I actually try to leave him in my lap, he decides, oh hey, I'm just gonna nuzzle the mic relentlessly. Now we can go ahead and easily use the Rampart Shield here. And we don't get our perfect. I was hoping we'd be able to do a little bit more damage, but I guess not. Golemon, now that's a name I haven't heard in forever. I used to be a Digimon fan, but I haven't really done anything with the series lately. Alright, so we have a bit of a delay on some of the hits. Really, I wonder why we're doing so little damage to him. And boss executed. So we don't have to deal with this most difficult phase for very long. Go ahead and pick up the outfit, pick up all the little trinkets lying around. 2 scroll fragments, 3 scroll fragments, which you already know what we're doing. No on the Vorpan, ice grenade is yes, and continue. Saw the games, now you'd be disappointed. Survive is a lame-ass Three Houses ripoff. Well, you say a Three Houses ripoff, and that doesn't sound like a bad idea in the first place. But you say it's lame, so it probably doesn't land very well. Cyber Sleuth series. Last game I played was actually Digimon World Dawn and Dusk, which would have been... wow, 15 years ago. Nothing for us to unlock here. Let's proceed. I don't think I've seen your persona yet. Do show me. Dawn and Dusk were great. I love them. Absolutely wonderful games. I wonder if any of them would be worth a play. Although I definitely get far more traction from doing Pokemon runs, which do expect some time. Uh-huh. Gonna have to get past this. Not difficult at all. Persona. No. Persona. I have no disagreements there. No disagreements here. Digimon is absolutely better than Pokemon. Unfortunately, Pokemon is far more powerful, and I do have to play into what would succeed. That is, if I plan on growing this channel, which I do. I very much do. Safe spot, and safe spot that is not. Yeesh. Here's our cursed chest, boy, which we will need. And we'll also need to be very, very careful proceeding. You know, it kind of does look like... no. I actually don't think I can see the Leopardon resemblance. Now there is a very good item. Let's actually forego the Fire Blast for now, and get back on our shield. We do want some method to parry. And the little bit of an invincibility barrier that we get is all too necessary. Definitely while we're cursed. Oh, right, they have a hitbox when they teleport. And I was looking at the booster on the side. Now, let's play a build that can actually make better use of some of our defensive tools. In fact, per Decursion's suggestion, let's go ahead and grab a repeater crossbow. I see no repeater crossbow, so let's re-roll for it. And then I wonder if we do tactics or if we do Right, we're doing a tactics build with the repeater crossbow. And again, no, so restart. We will recycle this until we see the repeater crossbow, although we might just boot up custom mode if after 1 or 2 more tries we don't see it. To think we only have maybe half the items unlocked. Explosive, and there is our repeater crossbow. Put that in the back, and... only issue is now, we have to figure out exactly how we're going to defeat large rooms of enemies like this. Which I suppose it might just require patience. Welcome, Kayla. Welcome. We unfortunately did suffer defeat, so we are just now restarting. Alright, there we go. It doesn't really matter that we take that emulator drawbit, since it gives us the same stats as the one we already have. Yeah, we're doing barbed tips because we need a... Swap that out. Barbed tips because it's a tactics build. Got it. I think even more important than the DPS is the fact that we can root enemies with this. So we can keep enemies glued a firm distance away. I don't think we're gonna need a hunter's grenade for anything, so we'll just proceed normally. And we'll unlock whatever else we find. Zero, do be careful, this is a say-so channel. There's certain things I would not allow repeat instances of. Although your statement there is relatively benign. Obviously, a plausible excuse here is that you're referring to the bird. Yeah, sure. Oh hey, the bots are back. It's been a while, how you doing? Leviathan, if you happen to be present, please to take care of that. Let's go ahead and route ourselves to the dilapidated arboretum, since that has a lot of open space for us to work with. On cheap players on floor 9. I really don't think I'll ever be returning to floor 9. I've already gotten to Celestial with both my main and my, my VTubing and my non-VTubing count. And once you get to Celestial, you can actually never drop below floor 10 ever again. So I don't even know what that experience is like. Not anymore. I'm gonna try to bully people with stupid 4 direct mix-ups. You know, I have actually gotten a lot better lately at dealing with strike throw. So hopefully, Kai shouldn't give me much of a problem anymore. And then I can humor the Kai down players by saying, oh yeah, you know, I guess you're sort of right. He doesn't have very much mix at all. There we go, now we can get. I did die, so we're starting over. But we are using that barbed tips build as suggested. Well, once we start unlocking mutations for it. So give us only a moment and we will proceed. Horseback Greed Sever. There is actually a, the mod, Guilty Gear Strive Plus, I don't know if you've seen it. And it does actually give back Greed Sever. Although Greed Sever is actually a force break there. Just the regular one is now a force break. Which an instant overhead in Strive. Yeah, I can understand needing meter for that. Understandable. I haven't actually tried it myself. I've only seen the trailers for it. I wonder if there's a good skill for us here. We could at least invest in the mutations for us to use in the future. Bootleg Dragon install. Indeed. Initiative. I am willing to use custom mode, and I'm definitely willing to do more viewer suggestions, definitely. Let's see, we're doing barbed tips, and continue. 4 minutes 20 seconds, take a drink, and let's see what we do. What sort of damage can we muster? Of course, we'll actually need to be able to get in the right position to use this. I suppose that's what our Crusher and Magnetic Grenades are for. They'll help us get into position by slowing down enemies. Nothing we need in that shop there, so... Perhaps it's best for us to react to enemy placements? I'm not sure. We might want to just dodge one shot and then use the multi-shot. There we go. Getting dangerously close to the plant there. Oh, careful, careful, careful. The 1 point in survival there might actually help us a bit more. Now we just need to make sure to never get hit again. I can see the viability here, definitely. We're racking up a lot of critical damage too. Oh no, you don't. You're trying to ruin a good time. So far, I'd say it definitely works. Ah, just one way or the other. Let's go to the one that has absolutely zero danger, and sell that. Since we're running a tactics build. Continue off to the right. And dodge that. What does irk me is it's a little slow to refire the multi-shot. So I guess we just have to not miss the first time. This would actually be terrifying in conjunction with point blank. Well done, and extra tactics damage we need. Dodge roll, multi-shot. Not bad. I do feel a little vulnerable without any defensive tools, though. And the fact that we are mostly shooting horizontally. Maybe this wasn't the best level to pick, since there are a lot of vertical shafts here. Yeah, I'm definitely trying Concierge. Why are we singing old Minecraft meme songs in the classroom? Am I teaching middle school now? Is that what's going on? Are any of y'all actually looking for a Minecraft stream, by the way? That's definitely in our list of options. But I'm not really sure when I care to start. Playing MC right now. Did I just indirectly call you children? Well, if you're still singing Minecraft parody songs in March of 2022... Yeah, I am. I also just lost about 3 viewers. So, I feel it too. Of course, I could have actually lost 3 viewers a while ago. I'm not really sure how to tell. I don't have the most active in live feed, as it's a little delayed seeing whenever someone leaves the stream. Oh, I used to sing it too. When I was in middle school. Wait. Minecraft came out when I was in high school. Yeah, Professor Turing is unfortunately a boomer. So it would have been while I was in high school. No. And now that we cleared out that half level, we go on to the left side. Let's see what we got in here. The root effect is working wonders. Well, we almost died there. Our homunculus rune missed. You know, I wonder why we had this overarching meme of creepers robbing you. They don't steal, they destroy. But there's that whole lyric about creepers trying to steal our stuff again. So I wonder where that all came from. Did we ever actually get official lyrics for Ride the Fire? It's always so difficult to tell what those lyrics are exactly trying to say. Roll through here and down through here. And somehow we barely avoided the spikes in that confrontation. Sure, I appreciate your wonderful singing, Zero. Thank you. And dodge. Maybe that, have a nice step. I'll actually give it a try off-stream, and if I like it, we might use that as our Saturday option. Well, James, we have, Minecraft arguments, and one fellow who's trying to sing a Guilty Gear song. Yeah, it's pretty wild for me, too. still going. He's still going. I'd say quite the opposite, Decursion. I'm trying to ask why the stereotype exists, as it's blatantly false. The stereotype of creepers stealing from people, when their entire shtick is blowing things up. It's in their biology, the ability to explode. Not that they have to use it. The creepers that never actually see you don't explode. But they are capable of it. And that would be my point, if you're trying to catch me on that. That soul bad guy do be born to end every life. Or at least the life of most gears he runs into. So far, the damage from our main two weapons is working great, but I'm... Minotaur Scroll. We will take Survival. The Vessel Skin. I... don't think so. If it's a mod, the answer is definitely no. Darn, I was hoping there'd be food in there. Ooh. This we can definitely use. And that looks to be everything relevant in the level cleared out, so it came in the references update. Oh, right, that would be the one with all the other indie game stuff, right? I might be a little slow on unlocking some skins. Crusher is good, but we might want Heavy Turret. That actually gives us quite a bit of damage, and the Crusher is usually better for a survival build than a tactics build. And Alienation, since we will be picking up a curse very soon. Thank you, Zero. That was a wonderful song. That dragon has now successfully installed. Yeah, stop running after me so quickly. Of course, he's gonna continue swinging, even though we're right up there. So, nice idea, but it really has trouble dealing with multiple enemies. I think I'm gonna forego that for now, as it's definitely having trouble dealing with crowds. The arrows don't penetrate targets, after all. Wow, we've done one brutality run and one tactics run, so why not try for survival this time? Absolutely horrible starting weapon, but we'll replace it soon. Unless, actually, we have any more, viewer build suggestions. That I'd love to hear. And we can go ahead and give another restart and do custom mode, whatever. Whatever might be necessary. Well, true, but I cannot equip a don't die. Trying to get snarky on the professor. No, we'll keep to the double dot. Cocoon. We actually could make much better use of a defensive tool now. Or a two-handed weapon, even. Nah, I get it, I'm just also joking back and forth. You're fine, Zero, you're absolutely fine. This goes off to the Arboretum. Really, the only thing wrong with the symmetrical lens is that first attack. It's very slow on the wind-up, but otherwise it is an excellent weapon for mobbing, for clearing out biomes. Go ahead and pick up the scroll, and we will go on to green, as usual. Thank you for the bit of health. We're now back to full. That slow effect is definitely going to mess with their parries. We'll have to pay attention to the exclamation points to see when we should do that. Parry. And now we have crits. I'm surprised this weapon isn't brutality, as it would synergize incredibly well with some of the effects that give, bonus damage after a kill, which you find on brutality, but not on survival. Indeed, survival is my original and basically always my best choice. Let's wait on buying any of these, as we'll probably find basically any survival weapon would be better. And all that extra shield damage couldn't hurt. You know what? Let's actually go hunting. We don't need the cocoon as we already have the cudgel to parry. And we have not yet been to the toxic sewers, so let's head there. Yeah, the symmetrical lance is a pretty bad weapon as they come. Open up here, and let's see what we have. All of you are useless. So we'll sell them. Right, mini collector. We actually could find a... We already got rid... Seismic Strike. There's actually a very good weapon to use. And we'll put some cells towards the Giant Killer, and probably swap to that later in this run. Yeah, that'll do. And now, does it really matter what we do? Let's go with Frostbite, since our... Wait, no. It was our symmetrical lance that actually had the slowdown effect. So now Frostbite is useless, but we can probably find a weapon that has an ice or slow effect that we could use. Seismic Strike here is a very interesting weapon. If you can get bonus damage versus rooted targets, it is an incredible weapon. Rooting effect on a weapon itself rather than a skill. Excellent find. We might want to just try to parry the little birds, since we're gonna have trouble hitting them with our main weapon. Crawl up here, and 1, 2, 3. Parry. Also, the Seismic Strike gives a little bit of extra damage that you can use on sort of a crowd control. Given the fact that it has the waves coming off, you can hit other enemies behind, and it lets you essentially deal with a lot of them one at a time. I was about to ask, what are you doing all the way over there? Heart of Ice would actually have been something good to play around here. Let's see, damage you take is inflicted on the enemy. Not very useful at all. And go with Brutality here. Yeah, I think the Seismic Strike is also worth replacing. Though the Giant Killer might actually be a very good idea. This is 5 BC, and we have a lot of elite enemies to worry about. Head up here and... No on the Mushroom Boy. Come on. Uh-huh. Just how are we getting that owl? Giant Killer is one of the best weapons, definitely. I think that's actually the way out, right there. And this would be the way in. Shots pierce all enemies. What a powerful effect. Unfortunately, we have basically no use for it whatsoever. %. We have a lovely bulky and defensive build here. If you have really good damaging skills, by the way, like the Wolf Grenade here, you can actually combine that with Seismic Strike and Heart of Ice and get very, very high DPS out of it. Since the Seismic Strike provides its own rooting effect, basically every single strike you have with it will end up reducing the cooldown on your items. sell that, get your attention. Huh, there's the exit already. But we are not going over there just yet. In fact, we won't directly be taking that route either, as we want to go through the corrupted prison. The seismic waves take care of the rats, worms, and other small enemies we'd rather not deal with. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? No to the sapphire amulet and proceed. Yeah, I think we might actually want to swap off onto the giant killer. We should be just about ready to unlock it. Now, whereas the first swing on the symmetrical lance is the one that sucks. It's the third one on seismic strike. Very slow attack, but it does create another shockwave. Burn the ground when you dodge. That actually sounds very useful. Wait for this to explode, and... oh, we did swap it out. Okay, good. Now, how are we getting over here? Sometimes in Dead Souls, it's hard to tell if you'll actually do a first attack again, or if your combo's still going. And that might serve to be a problem here, given that we're trying to avoid using the third swing. Giant Killer actually uses the same animations. And there's us getting destroyed again. I'm gonna go grab more tea. But welcome to 5BC, everyone. This is the hardest difficulty, the part that we're at here. I'll grab more tea, and I'll be right back. Alright. Refreshed and ready to go. We should be here for one more good run. Let's make this one count. Heck, even though it would otherwise be almost time for us to end. Give me some guidance. Amulet says tactics. So, let's go here. I already regret my decision. Would have been great to have a electric whip that would have gotten us through the biomes super easily. That's what I'm talking about. Shots pierce the first target. So this one's going to be excellent in crowds. We also don't have to worry at all about ammo since reload does refresh it. Funny little quirk, this is a ranged weapon that refills its own supply. Although we might be changing now that I see... No. Remember, the legendary weapons usually aren't actually that good. Let's see what we got. Extra damage when we're at high HP, and that is a 5, so it will be obsolete very, very soon. We'd only take it if it actually had a unique modifier. Which there are some legendary weapons which have unique effects. Huh, looks awfully familiar. Having the Crusher and Magnetic Grenade together. Sell that, and turn around and continue. Nothing we want out of there. I don't even know what I'd be hunting for right now. So we'll skip it. Continue on with our tactics build. Oh wait, I know what we can use. But who do we get it from? Drops from corpulent zombies, which are only found in the Forgotten Sepulchre. And we can route there from basically anywhere. Okay, I know what we're going after. And where's that shop? There you are. Now, what we're going for next will be the point-blank mutation. That deals extra damage if you use a ranged weapon up close, and it's a tactic skill. In conjunction with it being basically the optimal range for the heavy crossbow, I think we can deal a lot of damage with it. Ah, we get extra defense whenever we drop the Crusher. That's the unique effect we have. Hence the yellow shield we had just a moment ago. While we have lost our damage streak, I think we'll be doing very wonderfully here soon. We're mostly just trying to get to the Twilight Sepulchre. Wait, Forgotten Sepulchre. I've been playing too much Skyrim lately. Get the cheese for a little bit of health. And there will be a Skyrim playthrough eventually once I have a better computer for it. sell this. We are not using it. Wonderfully done. Sell that. We already have maximized tactics damage, so we should be doing just fine. Now, where would this be most useful? We need to route to the Forgotten Sepulchre, so it doesn't really matter which path we take. I think toxic sewers might be our best idea. Which I think actually also gives us the most, scroll fragments. You do find different amounts of scroll fragments in different places. Although they might have patched that out, I'm uncertain. Ah, so many fun items. Alchemic Carbine is a very good item, and we will want to use that on a few future builds. But not yet. Magic Missiles is not very good, but it is very fun. Ah, we didn't need to upgrade the reload. That doesn't actually deal any damage. There's actually nothing in tactics really here that helps us, is there? Let's actually go with Acrobatic Pack, and... ah, we can actually find a ranged weapon to use in conjunction with that. So let's go ahead and look for one. Now this is a weapon I can get behind. In fact, this used to actually be one of the best weapons. It did used to occupy only one hand. But it basically had the same level of power. Ice armor. Nah, we'll rather take the Crusher. Of course, our foolishness ends up getting us poisoned. And pop that. Pop you. And you. And you. Right. I tried to instinctively parry. But we don't have a shield. Yeah, not sure how long this run's going to go on. But Professor didn't really sleep well, so... regardless, I think this is going to be the last run unconditionally, even if we end up meeting an unfortunate fate very soon. Which might be likely, I'm pretty tired right about now. But this has been a wonderful evening. I look forward to a lot more Dead Cells in the future with y'all. And starting next week, let's actually try to mix some things up a bit and play a few new games. Sure, the staples we have here are wonderful, but as it stands, I'm not currently pulling in a new audience. Haven't really increased in subscribers lately. In fact, I don't think I've gotten more than like 2 in a couple of weeks. Times will come. And there is actually that other Guilty Gear tourney that's happening this Friday. We just went through one, but we have another one coming up soon. And that one's liable to have a lot of watchers for it, since it features some of the better players in the community. And assuming I don't get eliminated immediately, I should be able to score a bit more clout from there. Do what I know is the best method. I try to balance it out. There's actually a few games, such as Dead Cells here, which do seem to bring back a lot of viewers, and a few people have mentioned that it's their favorite. In fact, Decursion, I believe you showed up from a Dead Cells stream, correct? I do have to balance what I do to get new subs, but also the same classic games that we keep together. Viewer retention, essentially. After all, it's a lot more engaging to be part of a game that we are progressively getting through, rather than just watching me play something one-off and then drop it afterwards. And you know how much I love Dead Cells. I just wish people were looking for it. I might accidentally show up in someone's recommendations if they do consume a lot of Dead Cells content, though. That's basically my guess of where folks would be coming from. Not many people are searching for it, but I will happen upon someone's recommendations if this is a game they look at very frequently. In fact, we have had a few more viewers than usual at some point during the stream. Do we have any new subscribers, however? Answer is no. Okay. So it's all just repeat viewership then, which is welcome. Ah, curious. Well, it basically has been about 2 weeks since I last did stream this game. That's another issue. I am a variety streamer, but a lot of folks are looking for someone to play their favorite game, essentially. I think a lot of folks who did show up for, Terraria, one time like, oh, it must have been 4 or 5 months ago. I think Siphon's really the only person who's returned after that. There were a lot of folks that showed up there the first time and never made their return. And I'm not sure when I'm picking up Terraria again, as yeah, my time with it was okay. I don't know. I still couldn't quite get into the vibe of it. Wonderful use of the heavy crossbow. Still one of my absolute favorite weapons. And the slowdown effect. Although we're not running a survival build. Yeah, take that extra damage. Unfortunately, nothing for us in there. There's actually quite the variety of them, and I did hope to be roughly subversive to their expectations. I wouldn't gauge myself being too different from most streamers. I just basically did want to hide my face and essentially practice a character. Me being an ex-theater kid, as I've mentioned many a time. And there are actually quite a few of them that do things more rationally rather than the whole, yeah. I really don't like the whole waifu culture with the VTubing thing. Not my vibe either. We will say no to that hook. In fact, for basically any subject that you could think of a content creator, there is a VTuber for that idea. There's some that do criminal forensic channels. Not even streaming, they'll just do pre-made content. Heck, before the rise of Hololive and Neji Sanji, VTubing was actually mostly reserved for way more damage with the heavy crossbow. Parkour, maybe not, since it is difficult to get that tracking in an exterior environment. But weightlifting, I'm certain there's someone out there for that idea. There are definitely a lot of enthusiastic muscle VTubers. Folks who encourage a good workout. I can't remember their names though, I haven't seen them in a long time. Okay, good. We are getting the voice acts. Some folks do have, motion cap systems. It's not entirely just a little 2D motion JPEG talking to you. There are actually environments for... If you have a... Heck, you just need a camera and a 3D model to associate with it. But there's actually a very budget-friendly option of just with a model and a camera, you can get a decent 3D rig going and be able to have a full range of motion for your character, not just from the bust up. Well, how lucky we are to find a better version of what we already had. Reload. And careful. Victims freeze nearby enemies when they die. Wonderful effect to have on a heavy crossbow. And especially while accursed. In fact, one of these days, I will have a 3D model myself, and there I plan on getting the proper tracking to go with it. I actually have an Xbox Kinect that is ready to go for that anytime. I'll need the 3D model, though. In fact, after that point, I might even do things entirely in 3D, as I'd be capable of being much more expressive using my arms. Yeah, those guys block our shots. Maybe not the best route for us to take then. Ooh. We can definitely do with an Alivore on this build, not on some of the other ones we've done. Let's give him the good old homunculus treatment. Yeah, a heavy crossbow's doing wonderfully. Into Blender as a hobby. Well then, what is a present surprise? A nice idea, but it is actually a very, very big undertaking to try. Do you have any completed prior works? I know, Yaber, who's, same goes for... This used to be really good in the 3D printing. Interesting! Interesting little bit of history. Nice to hear that. 3D printing is something I just never really got into, but I'd probably have very good uses for it. I mean, I'm a scientist, and that's a wonderful bit of technology that I'd probably be able to make some trinkets out of. Blender's something I want to get into as well. And I have had some occasional weekends working with it, but alas, I've never really been able to stick with it. Ah, that darn dummy. That'll be finally taking damage. That is not significantly better than what we already have. I do believe... Yeah, there was a drumstick back at the beginning. Aw, 3D printer broke. Those are expensive, I imagine. So I imagine there's not much of an opportunity to get a new one then, is there? What do we have off in this direction? Ramparts. Actually, yeah. Let's give ramparts a try. I definitely don't want to deal with, Conjunctivius with a heavy crossbow. It's gonna be such a pain to actually shoot those tentacles. What a curious little bit of history. Let's actually go with barbed tips, as if our initial shot doesn't kill someone, the DPS that follows it is likely to do so. Aww. That's really hard to hear. Does that thing let off a bunch of particles as it works? Damn. Ah, while exposed to the resin. Damn. I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, I hope there's something... I hope there's something to help in the future. As little as that statement might help you. Scheme! I don't remember what that one does. No, on the ruby amulet. Yes, on the owl. kind of funny that the boy's axe also takes effect if we reload, not even if we just use the crossbow part. I'm not sure that I have any comparable or relatable injuries on my end. It is absolutely a God of War reference. The weapon itself, it's a throwing axe, and then when you use it again while it's already out, it recalls back to you. So it is very explicitly a God of War reference. Which is one game I may eventually play. Although given that we do everything in about 2 or 3 hour sessions, large episodic games might be very difficult to get through. Everhood, after all, was only a 9-hour game. Still, we managed to occupy 4 streams so far, and even potentially more for when we go hunting for the secret bosses. I really would love to eventually be able to do big streams that last basically an entire day, but I have trouble keeping up the voice for so long. Hollow Knight might be pretty long, but I've never actually beaten Hollow Knight, so I don't know there either. I've tried to pick up Hollow Knight about 3 separate times and never could stick with it. But everyone says it's a good game, so perhaps with some streamers to help me along, I'd have a better opinion of it. Right, we are not going down this way, not yet. Reload, get back my owl for the extra DPS. It's kind of funny, the pets for brutality and tactics are incredible. But the Mushroom Boy for survival is very lackluster. I don't think we need anything from there yet. We haven't had to use a flask. And we might not even need to. We should be able to get through this biome with taking very little damage. And the concierge after this should go down very easily. In fact, there we have a chance to test out barbed tips in conjunction with the heavy crossbow, which hopefully they work together. Take that. Reload, and let us continue. So far, it's pretty smooth sailing. Except those guys that we can't penetrate the shields of, we do have to amp up our owl for. I was hoping we could avoid the damage. That's the issue with the heavy crossbow. You still are stationary for quite a bit after you fire it. But it otherwise does wonderfully. Excellent damage, and one of the best bossing weapons in the game. don't think there's anything we need to change about this build. I wonder. Yeah, we can only replace our current one. We can't actually put a dual weapon like that in the backpack. However, multiple Noxbow has extra arrows for us to use. Combined with barb tips. Ah, the bank. I don't know about doing that in the beta, or if I should wait until the official release of that. But you can bet anytime there's a new Dead Cells update, I will be streaming it as soon as possible. And there, now we see the whole level. Mostly empty down here. We do have a supply of food usually. Yeah, we can deal with a little bit of extra praise. We'll be fine. We'll be just fine. Tonic would be wonderful if we were actually running a survival build, but we unfortunately are not. A bit of a waste to use a reloaded crossbow on those guys, but sure, I'll take it. I think maybe we do want to focus on the Inquisitors first, since their projectiles make it really obnoxious to avoid them. And allegedly, nothing out over here. Correct. Yeah, there's nothing off the side. Occasionally, you'll actually find another blueprint across a number of invisible bridges out there. Invisible platforms, more like. Nothing there, so... Scheme, your next melee attack after using a skill. It sounds powerful. Let's save the rest for the forge. We're about to fight our next boss. Nothing in here really needs a change, so... yeah, let's just go on. And now we bring out our precious little owlie boy. And hello, concierge. If all things go right, we should be able to do this without taking damage. There's actually a little extra hip stop that occurs from the concierge taking arrows. Oh, thank goodness. And jump. Roll. And there we go. Perfected. And pretty easily done, since we could do it from a medium range. Pick those up, give me the scrolls. We're always going for more damage. Sell that. Sell that. Pick this up. And let's see what little legendary item we find. Although if it's not gonna work alongside our build, we don't really have a reason to take it. I think that actually might be a better idea. Since we are running a tactics build, the little bit of extra survivability does wonders for us. Not to mention, it also applies a bleeding effect which our crossbow has bonus damage towards. So we can use it offensively for a damage buff as well. Nothing we care about here, since we're out of cells anyway. Continuing our run of legendary items, let's head up here to the Fractured Shrines, which always destroys me. But given that we're one-shotting everything that we come across, we should be doing just fine with some reloads. Apparently, no one wanted their subordinates to wander close to the shrines. Tell me what was going on here, then. The snake guys are the biggest pain, so as long as we can eliminate them roughly difficulty-free, we should be just fine for the course of this entire level. Where are we? Oh, downward. Okay. Had me worried for a second there. Nothing needed out of the shop there. Cursed chest is just up ahead. And I think we'll be doing just fine. Okay, so we can't use that while we're falling. Got it. We'll need to be very careful in advance. But ice armor actually prevents us from getting KO'd. You do nowhere near comparable amounts of damage. A shame those little birds don't count either. Which is a shame because they're everywhere and they're very capable of killing us. Yeah, keep flying. Need to be very careful. Very tactical with our approach, hence the tactics build, of course. We will avoid the elite enemies wherever possible, so long as we're cursed. And we were held in place for just long enough for an off-screen enemy. It is funny, at least. The unfortunate situations we had tonight. But I think that does leave us at a good stopping point, since I think it would be better for me to play a game like this when I'm a bit better rested. So, we might save it for the future. I'll go ahead and give that other game, what is it? Have a Nice Death. I'll give that a try off stream, and we'll see how things go. If I end up having a very wonderful streaming week, especially if Friday gets a lot of clout, then expect there to be another stream on Saturday. But for now, schedule is in the Discord and up on Twitter, and up on my YouTube channel, which we've got a stream scheduled for every day this week. So, I hope to see you all tomorrow. Class is dismissed. And thank you for your attendance. Even though at this point I believe it's just decursion, so thanks for hanging around. And we will conquer 5 BC. In fact, I will do that repeater crossbow build again when I'm a little better prepared for it.